We have an unknown distance yet to run, an unknown river to explore. What falls there are, we know not. What rocks beset the channel, we know not. What walls ride over the river, we know not. Oh well, we may conjecture many things. We are now ready to start on our way down the great unknown. Our boats, tied to a common stake, are chafing each other as they are tossed by the fretful river. They ride high and buoyant, for their loads are lighter than we could desire. We have but a month's rations remaining. We can see but a little way into the gorge, but it looks threatening. After breakfast, we enter on the waves. At the very introduction, it inspires awe. The canyon is narrower than we have ever before seen it, the water swifter. There are but few broken rocks in the channel, but the walls are set on either side with pinnacles and crags, and sharp angular buttresses bristling with wind and wave-polished spires extend far out into the river. About 11 o'clock, we hear a great roar ahead and approach it very cautiously. The ground grows louder and louder as we run, and at last we find ourselves above a long broken fall, with ledges and pinnacles of rock obstructing the river. There is a descent of perhaps 75 or 80 feet in a third of a mile, and the rushing waters break into great waves on the rocks and lash themselves into a mad white foam. There is no hesitation. We step into our boats, push off, and away we go. First on smooth but swift water. Then we strike a glassy wave and ride to its top, down again into the trough, up again on a higher wave, and down and upon waves higher and still higher, until we strike one just as it curls back, and a breaker rolls over our little boat. Still on we speed, shooting past projecting rocks, till the little boat is caught in a whirlpool and spun around several times. At one time, I almost conclude to leave the river, but for years I have been contemplating this trip. To leave the exploration unfinished, to say that there is a part of the canyon which I cannot explore, having already almost accomplished it, is more than I am willing to acknowledge, and I determine to go on. After supper, Captain Howland asked to have a talk with me. We walk up the little creek a short distance, and I soon find that his object is to remonstrate against my determination to proceed. He thinks that we had better abandon the river here. Talking with him, I learned that he, his brother, and William Dunn have determined to go no farther in the boats. So we return to camp. Nothing is said to the other men. All night long I pace up and down a little path on a few yards of sand beach along the river. At last daylight comes, and we have breakfast without a word being said about the future. The meal is as solemn as a funeral. After breakfast, I ask the three men if they still think it best to leave us. The elder Howland thinks it is, and Dunn agrees with him. The younger Howland tries to persuade them to go on with the party, failing which he decides to go with his brother. Some tears are shed. It is rather a solemn parting. Each party thinks the other is taking the dangerous course. Many years have passed since the exploration, and those who were boys with me in the enterprise most of them are dead, and the living are gray with age. Their bronzed, hardy, brave faces come before me as they appeared in the vigor of life. Their lithe but powerful forms seem to move around me, and the memory of the men and their heroic deeds, the men and their generous acts, overwhelms me with a joy that seems almost a grief, for it starts a fountain of tears. I was a maimed man. My right arm was gone. And these brave men, these good men, never forgot it. In every danger, my safety was their first care, and in every waking hour some kind service was rendered me, and they transfigured my misfortune into a boon.